Hey, Richard Rawlings here, and this is how to make sure that you always follow your projects through to completion and you never half finish a project again. So, have you been finding it hard to follow through on the great ideas you come up with? You thought maybe that you had a great idea last week, but this week you're onto something else, and last week's idea is the furthest thing from your mind. The problem is that this keeps happening. You come up with new ideas and you shy away from the ones you once thought would work so that you can get the feeling of something new and exciting. But don't worry though, this is not an uncommon phenomenon. You lose faith in the ideas, even though you never really tried them, you never really followed through on them. You didn't experiment with them, and they quite possibly could have worked for all you know. So why does this happen? You become distracted by other things you believe may be a better investment of your time, basically. But when you start doing the next one that you get excited about, you wonder if something else might be better to work on. It's the case of the grass is greener, basically. You have 100 ideas on the go that could all be worth something, as far as you know. If something takes too much time, it's hard to finish. Not necessarily just because it takes so much time, but because you begin to wonder whether or not the output of the project will be worth the time invested. You fear that you'll regret it. The fear becomes a problem when it paralyzes you from completing anything. When you only half-finish projects, you have a lot of unfinished ideas and nothing to show for your work. So here are some ideas to remedy this fear. First, conviction and focus are key here. Whenever you start a new project, you have to convince yourself absolutely that it is what you need to be doing. A rule that I use is I gather information, I read up comprehensively on a project that I want to do and create an outline for how the project will be completed. Then I sleep on it for one night. The next day I read my outline, I read more about it, and if I'm still convinced that I should be working on the project, I take that as a sign that I should galvanize myself towards working on this project. Given the information I have at hand at the time, it's what I should do, and I should start on it now, and I should not stop until it is done. I then make a schedule for completing the project, and it gets done unless something drastic happens. Stubbornness has come to be known as a valuable business trait, by the way. Just remember that. Number 2, you should forgive yourself mistakes. If you can't forgive yourself, you'll never want to follow through for the fear of screwing up. So don't pay attention to what others think of your work and your projects. Remember that when you start on any given project, you start because the information you had at the time told you that starting the project was the right choice. If you were in the same situation again with the same information available to you, you would have done the exact same thing. Chalk it up to a learning experience if something doesn't pan out how you wanted it to, because it happens, and just start on the next project. Know when to cut your losses and start a new project. To go faster, when you're learning how to ride a bike, you need to know how fast you can stop. Knowing when to cut your losses and start on the next project is important to getting things done, because if you don't know when you should stop the current project, you'll either stop too soon, you'll stop too late and you're wasting time, or you'll stop too early on a potentially valuable project. And the entire time you'll be worrying about whether or not you should stop or not, which will impact your work ethic. Knowing when to cut your losses typically comes with experience in your industry and depends on the particular project. But as a general rule of thumb, you should ask yourself, is this project still valuable to my customers before you quit any project? And consider it carefully over a few days, not right away, because it's something important. Always lean more towards project completion rather than discontinuation. After all, not long ago you thought this project would be very valuable, which caused you to start it. Experience will come faster as you complete more projects and see the results from them. If you never complete projects, you'll never learn, you'll never gain that experience. As an example of what comes from conviction and focus, Steve Jobs was known for his single-mindedness and his ability to be sure about his decisions and to focus on only one or two things at once and do them well. He ignored everything else. This allowed him to develop his ideas and ultimately influence the entire world with them. And by the way, if you want to learn how you could significantly increase your control over your workday and your personal productivity each day, I have a training video for you worth $67.97 that'll show you how, and you can get it for free and watch it for free in just a minute from now by signing up for it at justbeproductive.com. I talk about why productivity and consistency each day can be such a struggle and how to solve these problems and have less stress and more freedom each day. All my material is based on scientific studies. I try to get as much of the mumbo jumbo out that a lot of productivity experts seem to teach. I won't mention any names, but I try to remove that stuff that doesn't have a basis in real research. A lot of it doesn't work for most people, and that's the biggest problem. Anyway, you can go to www.justbeproductive.com right now, or hit the link in the video description and go and sign up for the video training, and you can get it for free. I really hope you enjoy it, and I'll talk to you soon.